and there is a significance behind the astrotheological symbols placed in Christianity and every religion, not just Christianity, but every religion out there, including things like the Nation of Islam. I mean, not even just the Nation, Islam as a whole, because Nation of Islam is a tiny cult held within
the NOI, right.
AKA Malcolm X's killers.
AKA Farrakhan?
Farrakhan,
like that's
Elijah Muhammad,
yep.
all of those guys.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I hear from Farrakhan that I actually do agree with.
Sure.
However, he seems like an agent of misinformation.
He's the Black Alex Jones, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Basically, I mean, yeah, he's into UFOs, and those guys are, you know, hip with, like, sort of the reptilian sort of stuff, and that, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, they believe in the story of Yakub, which is like a totally, you know, fabricated story about how the origins of a white man it was created by some evil black scientist named Yakub, who decided, I am going to create a race that is here to suppress all of the other races of the world. Now, given all of history is based on the accomplishments of the white man. However, it's not about the white man. It is about mankind as a whole being held down by the superiors of all cultures, which is not just white.
Ah, correct. Yes, let's make that distinction. That's the way they get you in that game of, you know, just blaming the one race or the one people or like the one religion, whatever.
I mean, it's just like the people who say, oh, it's the Jews' fault, you know, they did all the Jews, da da da, you know, it's like, come on, that's all bullshit, okay? Yes, there was definitely, you know, evil Jewish people in power. However, a lot of these people that they call the Zionists are not even Jewish by blood.
Right.
These are guys that changed their names into Jewish names, you know, much like the Rothschilds.
Ah, a.k.a. Bauer, a.k.a. Jack 24, like, for real.
A.k.a. the international banker of the Queen of England, the Vatican, and the creator of the Federal Reserve Trade, which is a private corporation owned by the World Bank, which is Rothschild.
Roth, that's right. I mean, you could say, yeah, Rothschild, they're a German fam. They're more in the Nazi lineage than like Jew lineage, not Nazi particularly, but like Germanic secret society banking. It's like all I hear when I turn on this motherfucking Patriot radio and all this shit is Jew bashing. And I, you know, full disclosure, I have Jewish blood and all that, but I don't practice religion. I understand it's all sort of mind control and all that. I don't involve myself with it. You know, I don't take shit seriously for the most part. But I mean, when you turn it on, you hear these people just talking shit, and yeah, they're sheeple, exactly. And they're like, I mean, aren't you playing right into Hitler's playbook and into this sort of dark occult sort of
Well, you
mindset?
know, I don't think they're understanding that, you know, Hitler, you know, okay, let's bring in some connections, okay?
Yeah.
You got a connection between the Queen of England and Prescott Bush, the Skull and Bones, and then you got that connection with the Rothschilds, given that the Rothschilds had their hands in the Skull and Bones, Federal Reserve Trade, and the Queen of England hiring these people. Now, what is the connection between the Queen of England and the Nazis? Well, the Queen of England has German lineage in her bloodline.
Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, motherfuckers. That's the so basically we have the Rothschilds and the Windsors, which are they want you to think what German and English. They're really just all fucking German.
They're German.
Right? Really Germanic, let's say.
Yeah.
Before it was called Germany, whatever, their sort of lineages were around, and they would say this connects to. This is sort of the coming down of all this Egyptian Kemetic stuff into what we call Europe now, right?
Yep.
And it's somehow mixing or creating this white.
I mean, there's
culture.
a lot of Egyptian symbols behind the whole royalty and how the lion of Aten is found, you know, right with the queen when you have the lion of the queen, and there's a lineage between that. There's even a claim that she is related to Queen Cleopatra, who was Egyptian.
This is say the name again?
Cleopatra?
No, what you were talking about before.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah, Queen Elizabeth. Yes, like the queen now. Yeah, why not? Egypt to England, and you would like if the queen is the head of all Freemasonry, then that makes sense because it's all Egyptian sort of based and comes from that area.
Absolutely.
And yeah, obelisks all day and shit.
And then, you know, you think about the occult reasoning behind the Nazis. They studied ancient Indian Aryan knowledge. They twisted the knowledge and made it seem like it was about white supremacy, but really what they were doing is studying the occult knowledge of the Vedas, of the ancient Sanskrit scriptures, and coming up with their own idea of, you know, the Vimanas and these spaceships that we're talking about in the ancient Vedic scriptures. You know, the Vimana was known as the spaceship in ancient India. You know,
and hence they were working on flying
the Nazi
saucers
bell
and the bell and things of that nature, right? So
absolutely,
they were connecting this shite together.
And you know, people don't even want to take in consideration that Werner von Braun, you know, who was the top Nazi scientist, helped found NASA. NASA, Nazi,
aka Ashkenazi Jews, as I've heard some people say. Yeah, NASA was built by these Germanic type, with the understanding of these Vimanas, right? And sort of getting at the propulsion systems. Now, this leads to the space program and the secret space program, and sort of the alternative. What do they really have that they haven't been?
And Operation Paperclip, you know, is also something that should be taken in consideration. How instead of, you know, putting these people in jail or executing them, we took the top evil scientists who were performing evil, like torturous as you know, experiments on Jewish people or gypsies or blacks or whoever else they were persecuting, which it wasn't just Jewish people, it was people of all races, you know, and religions, you know. When you think about that, why did we do that? We took their technology.
And this is why we've had this sort of military / computerized explosion since then. And how does this connect to the previous God figures that already had more advanced technology than this? Are they just doling it out to us little by little? Or they want us to get to a certain point, or they want to hold us back? What is it?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm looking at this picture right now of the Egyptian hieroglyph for Neter or Neted, which means God or the gods. Now, if you look up the image of this hieroglyph, you will see a flying saucer with a squiggly line above it and a flag, almost like the flag that we would put in the moon after landing on it.
Exactly.
We have landed.
Yes, the beagle has landed. My dog. I mean, basically, yeah, what is it, man? That's...
And then, you know, the Nazis also claim to have come from a superior race, that their knowledge came from outer space.
The OG Aryan race.
You know, and then, okay, so what is the significance behind that? Well, wasn't there an alleged UFO crash landing in Germany in like 1935 or 36?
I'm not quite familiar with that. Obviously, there's right.
I can't remember the area where this crash landing was, but it happened. It was reported in newspapers, and from scientists' reports, it was a flying saucer with supposed dead aliens. Now, the Nazis already were coming with their own version of the flying saucer. I cannot recall the name of the scientist or engineer that was working on it, but by the end of the Third Reich, there was already a flying saucer model out.
Right.
Reverse engineering.
But like, so they really would have just lucked out that this craft would have come down at that time, right as the Nazi regime was sort of getting into full swing or into swing.
Well,
I mean, it seems convenient, or did they make it happen, or what do you think that would be?
I think they might have made it happen. You know, there's rumors that the Nazi bell was invented and they were already doing time travel in these ships.
Right. So they were ships meant to travel in time, not necessarily air.
Even Werner von Braun claimed to have gotten his knowledge from extraterrestrials. He has hinted it many times, and considering that he helped find NASA and propelled, you know, U.S. into the whole rocket, into the rocket technology, and the fact that we went to space right after World War II.